Previously on the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. But think about a Forbidden Door charity show where like wins and losses don't matter, but it's a fundraiser. That would be great. That way you can do your dream matches without it affecting storylines. So have Josh Alexander, who's the current Impact World Champion, take on Okada, or have good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, January 29th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host. I am going to Wrestlemania. Well, not this year, but next year. But that's beside the point. Welcome to the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. Jeremy Pierce here in the building. As always, you can check me out on the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and the 215 on Twitter. And today's show, well, seeing as how we had an event last night, well, today we will be reviewing what just happened in the 2023 Royal Rumble. It was a good show. Caught some of it last night, and then was at a birthday dinner to go to, and then caught the end of the show, Roman, the Women's Rumble. So I missed the middle, so I came back home this morning, watched the middle, and we're gonna go through it. We're gonna go check it out and see what we think, see what I think. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. So, not a lot of news, and you would think there would be more going into the Royal Rumble match, but you know, we had a solid week, so let's just dive into it real quick. And some really, really good news for WWE 2K23. War Games will be in the game. The War Games match. It is the first time that the War Games will be in a wrestling game. We also know that the game will be centered around John Cena with the John Cena Showcase. This is kind of what 2K does with their sporting games. So, it's solid. Over on Rampage, so last week Rampage on the 20th, January 20th episode, did 464,000 viewers with a .13 and an 18-49 demo. While this past Friday show, my brain hurts, the 27th, they did 419,000 viewers, so that's actually down from the week before. It happens. Rampage is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. Raw Triple X, I was there in Philly. We never got our steel cage match, and Audible was called because the Bloodline segment ran long. So instead of having a 2-minute match, you just got an Audible with Damage Control murdering Becky. And if they can't do the match, do the Audible. The ratings also for the 30th anniversary special did 2.34 million viewers with a 0.7 and an 18-49 demo. This is the first time Raw hasn't been over 2 million viewers in a very long time. See what happens when you promote a show and you build it up. It's just a thought, WWE. Mercedes Moné's first scheduled matches will be in Japan, part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. She will be taking on Kairi Sane, obviously, at the Battle in the Valley on February 18th. And there will probably be a few more matches after that, where she'll definitely wrestle in Stardom. And some good news, if you saw Dynamite this past week, and you should have seen Dynamite this past week, Mark Briscoe wrestled on Dynamite, taking on Jay Lethal in the main event match as a tribute to his brother Jay. As you know, for the longest, the Briscoes were not allowed on AEW television. Part of AEW's deal with Warner Bros. Discovery was that they could they, as a Warner Brothers Discovery, could say who can and cannot appear on the show. And the Briscoes weren't allowed for a myriad of reasons. Part of it had to do with Jay's previous statements, which he apologized for and was clearly forgiven. Also, the fact that the Briscoes, they wear the Confederate flag or the rebel flag, and that's something that we just not down with. So but things change, especially after Dana Brooke slaps his wife, and you're using Dynamite to be the lead-in for the slap show, the slap sporting show, whatever it is. But yes, the Briscoes, Mark Briscoes now is free and clear to wrestle on Dynamite. Brian Cage, his AEW contract will be up. So remember, it was supposed to be up last year, but Tony Khan extended it. And the WWE, they are interested in Brian Cage, so we'll see what really happens with that. Matt Cardona right now is locking up all of his old WWE trademarks. He's locking them down for bandanas, hats, shirts, action figures, entertainment purposes. He's locking everything down. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. His name, everything. Could he be going back to WWE? I mean, his wife is there now. I would much prefer Matt Cardona over Zack Ryder. Former WWE superstar Connor of the Ascension, who's now going by Big Con, has signed a long-term deal with Impact. The terms aren't disclosed, but we do know that he's part of Impact now, part of the redesigned Violent by Design faction alongside Alan Andrews. Dynamite's ratings this past week finally breaks over 1 million viewers. They averaged about 1 million viewers with a .32 in the 18-49 demo. I think part of this has to do with the Jay Briscoe tribute. Wardlow has been written off of TV because he's dealing with an injury. We don't know what the injury is. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but he won't be on TV, which is why you see Samoa Joe stepping as SmackDown, the go home show for the Royal Rumble. Viewership 2.4 million with a .65 in the 18-49 demo. That's big. That's huge. And the goal has to be at some point to get Rampage up to kind of those numbers. And if you saw the Royal Rumble, Rey Mysterio was supposed to be in it. He was pulled after suffering an injury. Yeah. Rey's hurt. We'll see how this does for WrestleMania. But for now, you know what's next. The Week in Review. We'll be right back. So let's get into the Week in Review. I won't be before you very long. Raw, Triple X, Raw 30, Raw is 30, Raw is Triple X, whatever you want to call it. I was there. A couple of the friends were there as well. It was an okay show. There was no Rock, no Mick Foley, no Stone Cold. Three of the biggest dudes of the Attitude Era of Raw. No John Cena. So, was it really a Raw celebration? But anyway, we open up with Hulk Hogan giving a generic speech, not even just saying anything of any note, whatever. Then we have the trial of Sami Zayn again, which ran long, but Paul Heyman presented the case. And it's weird that Paul Heyman was so against Sami Zayn when he actively wanted him in the group just to kind of, placate Roman, make sure nothing's out of hand. And Roman found him guilty after, Sami didn't defend himself. Sami had nothing. And then Jay stepped in, stopped Solo Sikoa from giving Sami the Samoan spike, where he presented new evidence showing Sami taking bullets time and again for the bloodline. It was It's a beautiful segment, and it ran like 30 minutes, but it was a beautiful, beautiful segment. So Sami was found not guilty for the time being. It was awesome. The Usos then retained the Raw Tag Team Championships against the Judgment Day after Jimmy Uso got hurt and Sami stepped in, tagging with Jay, and they won the match. It was a solid match. It was more for storyline purposes, but it was really, really, really good. We had a Legends poker game, whatever. It was all just to rag on Baron Corbin. LA Knight came out, cut a promo. Then he was confronted by The Undertaker, the American badass Undertaker, my favorite Undertaker. And then he was leaving, and then Bray showed up. So LA Knight backed himself back into the ring, got a choke slam, and then we had not a choke slam. He was getting choked, and then Taker threw him to Bray, who gave him Sister Abigail, and then there was like a passing of the torch moment between The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Our scheduled steel cage match did not happen because the Bloodline segment ran long, so Damage Control just destroyed Becky Lynch. We had a DX segment. They were just kind of joking around. Kurt Angle was there. They were all joking around. Led to them being confronted by Imperium, leading to Teddy Long setting up a tag match between Imperium versus Seth Rollins and the Street Profits, with which the latter team won. We had a random boring segment with Charlotte and Bianca, whatever, leads to Bianca versus Sonya Deville. Bianca wins. Miz is taken out by KO. KO cuts a promo, and in the main event, Austin Theory retains the United States Championship after Brock Lesnar returns, attacks Bobby Lashley again. We already did this. Brock won the match at Crown Jewel. Like, we did this already. So there's that. Austin Theory still your United States champion. Over on Dynamite, we had a solid show, which was boasted by the Jay Briscoe tribute, and this gets 2 thumbs up just because of the tribute alone. But for the rest of the show, Le Sex Guys, the team of Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, defeated Ricky Starks and Action Andretti after Daniel Garcia hit Andretti with Floyd. The baseball bat in this feud is not even close to being over. Darby Allin retains against Buddy Murphy. Samoa Joe will be next in line. Jungle Hook defeated Matt Hardy and Ethan Page. We had a family therapy segment with the Guns and the Acclaimed. It was really, really fun. It was really, really funny. And they both laid out really, really good cases. It's like the Guns was, well, you see we're assholes, you see we're trash, but the faults of the children are the failures of the father. And they're claiming like, well, the Guns, you're just assholes. I'm like, no, while you were hurt, we were there for you. It was good. So can't wait to see what's next. Will the Guns be the ones to take the tag team championships off of the Acclaim? Bryan Danielson defeats Brian Cage after the match. MJF and Brian Cage absolutely destroy Bryan Danielson until Takeshita runs them off. Gives a little, hip check to MJF. MJF hires Timothy Thatcher to face Bryan Danielson next week. Oh, and then, right around 9:20, what happens at 9:20 on an episode of Dynamite? We get the women. Ruby defeated Toni Storm after a distraction from Britt Baker. This one about 10 minutes, if that, most of it, a third of it taken away by the commercial break. It was disgusting. It's disgusting how sometimes they're an afterthought and how badly the women are treated by Tony Khan. And in our main event, Mark Briscoe defeated Jay Lethal. Jay was very, very emotional. This was a tribute match to Mark's brother Jay, who's, passed away last week. Just, Simon Miller would say, warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. That's what this was. Over on Impact, Trey Miguel retains the X Division Championship against Mike Jackson. Kushida and Kevin Knight defeat the Good Hands. The Death Dolls defeat Giselle Shaw and her mystery partner, which is Tara, after Shaw disrespected Tara, so Tara hit her finisher on it. I'm liking this little gimmick of Giselle finding mystery partners. Taylor Wilde, will be seeing more of her because she'll be seeing more of Killer Kelly. they'll inevitably end up becoming a tag team built around violence. The Bullet Club defeated the major players, and then Joe Hendry had a new song coming at Matt Cardona. Jonathan Gresham had won a squash match, and Rich Swann won a 6-way dance to become the number 1 contender for the Impact Championship. Him winning was kind of really out of left field, but it's good. He is a former Impact champion. Over on SmackDown, the Bloodline storyline continues. This show gets a fifth. SmackDown wasn't that great. This week, Sami sneaks in the parking lot just to talk to Jay, saying, I got your back. Thank you for what you did for me on Monday. Rey Mysterio defeated Karrion Kross with the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. Anytime Karrion Kross can lose, that makes me happy. We had our standard Rumble brawl that ends with Lesnar taking out everybody, including Bobby Lashley, and Lesnar standing tall. Lacey Evans won her return squash with the women's right and the Cobra Clutch. The Viking Raiders take out Sheamus and Drew, so they're replaced by Braun and Ricochet, who subsequently defeat Hit Row to advance to the tag team finals. And Wade Barrett made a really good point. Why didn't Hit Row just get a bye if the other team got a bye when a team was out with injury? It just makes sense. LA Knight cosplayed as Bray, cutting a promo. Old Bray, with the Hawaiian shirts and whatnot. Imperium defeated Legado del Fantasma to advance in the finals. Legado looked really good here. When they're treated seriously, they can be great. And in our main event, Solo Sikoa versus Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens ends in a no contest after Sami Zayn gets involved and Kevin Owens stands tall. Over on Rampage, Hangman Page defeated Wheeler. Yuta, Action Andretti, and Ricky Starks aren't done with the JAS. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh defeated the Best Friends and Dan Housen. It was fun. Here's what you can pull from this match. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal are heat magnets. The Best Friends, and especially Dan Housen, are super over. Use that. Britt wants Ruby to pick sides, because everybody's going to have to pick sides at this point, and I think we're going to end up getting a women's blood and guts match. Will Hobbs won his squash match in the main event. Jamie Hayter defeated Emi Sakura in an eliminator match. Go check this one out, ladies and germs. Our matches of the week from Dynamite: Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal in the Jay Briscoe tribute match. From Rampage, Hangman Page versus Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler's always game, always good to give you a good match. From Rampage, Jamie Hayter versus Emi Sakura. I'm happy these women got time because they put on a nice little show. Definitely go check that out. From the Royal Rumble, the 30-man Royal Rumble match, and the main event, the Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the, ready for this, WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. Say that 5 times fast. And our star of the week, I'm giving it to 3 guys: Mark Briscoe, Sami Zayn, and Jay Uso. Their performances this week, legendary stuff. But that's the week in review, and we shall be right back. The 2023 Royal Rumble match. Premium live event and the match. Man, this was the show that I was very much looking forward to. This is the first Royal Rumble in the Triple H era. We had Survivor Series, we have now the Rumble, and soon enough we'll get Wrestlemania. We've also had the SummerSlam in the Triple H era. So the big 4, and so if you go and check out the Blur Cartel and Friday Night Euro, we did our preview show, making our predictions. This was a tough one. The men, not so much, but on the women's side, very much so. So let's just get into the brass tacks. We come to the Rumble. This is the 35th Royal Rumble, and the first person out, the first person's whose music hits is Pat McAfee. Pat is back. Oh my God. I'm so happy. Pat is back. He's super over. Commentary. We missed Pat. We missed you, Pat. Glad to have you back. And I guess that means Wade Barrett is probably going back to NXT, but that's all right. Pat is back. So we have the men's Royal Rumble first. This is the first one. It's the first match of the day. And, I'm hoping that we can continue this trend of flip-flop of the men's and women's Royal Rumble depending on, the matches we have on the card. Remember, the first women's Rumble did main event that show. I was there. It was in Philly. So I like that the men's Rumble opened up the show. And I do even like that KO and Roman main evented the show. But our first two people starting the Royal Rumble are Sheamus and Gunther. Great choices to start. And man, this never-ending feud with them, it has to end with Sheamus versus Gunther at WrestleMania, with Sheamus winning the Intercontinental Championship so he can finally become a Grand Slam champion. And all you need to know is big, mighty men slapping man meets. Number 3 was The Miz. Number 4, Kofi. And everybody's doing their thing. You know what's going on. Number 5, Johnny Gargano. Number 6, Xavier. So the New Day is already there. Number 7, most boring man on the world, Karrion Kross, who just didn't really do much in the match. Took an L to Rey Mysterio on Friday. Took an L here in the Royal Rumble. Now, I'm not going to go over eliminations unless, there's a big elimination. Number 8 was Chad Gable. Number 9 was Drew McIntyre. And at this point, we're at the 12-15 minute mark. Sheamus and Gunther still in there. Drew doing his thing. Number 10 is Santos Escobar. He gets the flurry of offense. And then Angelo Dawkins comes out. And 12 is where it gets really, really interesting. And it's none other than Brock Lesnar. And he's doing his thing. He eliminated Santos. He eliminated Dawkins. He eliminated Gable. Done. He comes face to face with Gunther. They start coming to blows. Number 13, Bobby Lashley. And these two, well, Bobby cleans house, and then Bobby goes right after Brock, and he eliminates Brock. So clearly they're facing each other at WrestleMania. Remember when Goldberg just eliminated Brock at the Royal Rumble? Yeah. And Brock loses it, destroys the announce table, and then Corbin comes out. He murders Corbin. And then number 15 is Seth Rollins. 16, Otis. And we got some good stuff going down. This was great. And we got storylines here, storylines there. Ray's supposed to come out at number 17. He never comes out. So at this point, Seth had eliminated Lashley. Number 18, Dominic Mysterio comes out wearing Ray's mask. Dom is such a scumbag. Dom is... I love ex-con Dom, man. But we've got all this good stuff going on. Johnny Gargano still in the ring. Elias comes out. Cracks the guitar. He's out. Here's Finn and then Booker T at 21, looking like he's in good shape. Not as spry as he once was. And there's Damian Priest, followed by Montez Ford. So then we have all of the Judgment Day in there. Then number 24, Edge is back. And the Judgment Day look like they've seen a ghost. Edge spears Damian Priest. He spears Finn. He takes out Dom. Tosses Damian Priest outside. Tosses Finn Balor outside. We're going. And then Edge tosses Seth after they come face to face for just a little bit. Dom's gone. And the Judgment Day, they're just brawling. They're just brawling Edge. And as Theory's coming out, he sees Edge fighting Damian, fighting Finn. He just chills until Rhea comes out, attacks Edge, and then Beth comes out and spears Rhea. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty with all of this. I am so very excited for all of this. Austin Theory comes out, finally goes into the ring, followed by Omos. Number 27 is Braun. 28, Ricochet. 29 is that scumbag trash human being, Logan Paul. And Logan, I'll give credit where credit is due. He's not horrible. He does just enough to look, good in the ring. Him and Ricochet have this moment where they fucking. Well, let me get to that first. Number 30 is Cody, and Dom is still in the ring, y'all. Dom has not been eliminated. So Cody does his thing, and then he tries to go for the Three Amigos on Cody. Cody hits him with the Crossroads, and it finally tosses him out. When that happens, Logan Paul and Ricochet are opposite sides of the ring, and they just do a springboard clothesline right into each other. Bam! The way the bodies smacked against each other, crazy. Seth and Cody exchange some words. Well, we get down to the nitty. Let's get down to the very end. The last two people are Gunther and Cody. Remember, Gunther's been in there since the start of the match. He was clearly the MVP of this match. Gunther tries to use the ropes to pull himself up, but Cody knocks him down. Cody wins the Royal Rumble at 71 minutes, 42 seconds. Obligatory points to the Wrestlemania sign, and Cody Rhodes is going to Wrestlemania to face Roman. Well, I don't know. Roman could lose a championship in between then. Who knows? Noticeably, none of the members of the Bloodline were in the Royal Rumble. No Sami, no Usos, no Solo. Even though I thought that would have created a little bit of intrigue with Cody being there. And Gunther, he break Rey Mysterio's record. He's great, man. He's really great. This is just other good points, things being made, putting Brock and Bobby in the first third of the match, followed by everything with the Judgment Day. This was just a good match. This was just a good match. So yeah, what more can we say? Kofi failed at this trying to stay, and again, of course, Karrion Kross is trash, always will be trash. Then we got the Pitch Black match, and I don't even know what to say about this. I don't know what I saw. I don't know what I witnessed, but I liked it. This didn't even go very long. This drawing went 5 minutes. It was essentially pitch black with a lot of neon lights, and it was literally an anything goes match just in the dark. That's it. And Bray won in 5 minutes. And then, as Bray's kneeling in the corner, turns around, he's got a skull mask on with glowing red paint, and he just fucking attacks LA Knight, chases him around, fights him to the back. It was just weird, especially with Mountain Dew sponsoring this. And then while he's attacking LA Knight, got him in the mandible claw at the top of some platforms, Uncle Howdy, and he just jumps into the structure, taking out LA Knight, flames, pyro. Yeah. I remember Titus O'Neil, like, I don't know what I just saw, but it was something. It was something. It wasn't. I guess it was enjoyable. It just felt weird. Hopefully we can move on from this. We still got the supernatural element. Bray has a new mask. During all of this, Pat McAfee was just great on commentary. He's just questioning everything. I've been gone. What is going on? Who the hell is that? Just everything. Next up was the Raw Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. And let's be serious, y'all. Let's be real. Alexa Bliss never ever had a shot at winning this match. This match went 7.5 minutes. She tried, she lost, but there's more. So this is kind of more of a segment to set up the aftermath. And yeah, Uncle Howdy's not done with Alexa Bliss. Uncle Howdy isn't done with Alexa Bliss. He's got some plans for her, and he asked her, do you feel like you're in control? I don't think she very much feels like she's in control. Now, the Women's Royal Rumble. Here's some of my assholish friends saying they don't have 30 women to fill this Rumble up. Well, they do. They do. And they did. They've got like 30 women in NXT alone. But we start off with our number 1 and number 2, Rhea and Liv, and I thought this was smart to start with these two. Rhea's great, and I love the extreme nature of what Liv has been doing since losing the SmackDown Women's Championship. But this was Rhea Ripley's night to shine. So they're doing their thing, going back and forth, as Simon Miller would say, wrestling tennis. But see, here's the difference between Alexa Bliss and Liv. It's like Liv's small, but her offense looks believable. It's the aggression, it's everything that they put into her character, which is the complete opposite of Alexa Bliss. Number 3 is Dana Brooke. Number 4 is Emma. Number 5 is Shayna Baszler. And I'm more upset that Shayna didn't have a better showing here. I wish Shayna did more. Number 7 was well, actually, did I miss it? At some point, Bayley was in here. The numbers are off. B-Fab is next, and then she's just gone, out, taken out, done. Then we have Roxanne Perez, who put in a very, very good showing. So there's your first NXT person. She hit Rhea with a really, really pretty tilt-to-her head scissors. I think she went around twice. They tried to eliminate Bayley, which didn't work. Then we had Dakota Kai, who went to save Bayley. Number 10 was Io Sky. So now we have all members of Damage Control in the ring, and well, they just dominate. They take out a couple people. Number 11, Natalya. Number 12, Candice LeRae. 13, our next NXT person, Zoe Stark, who is really, really good. I'm glad she gets to shine just a little bit. 19, Xia Li. 15, Becky, goes right for Bayley, but that damn numbers game. 16, Tegan Knox, and then number 17. So once number 17 happens, this is when the show gets, and the match gets really, really, really interesting. Because we get Asuka, who's got a remix to her theme. She comes out with like a very different mask, kind of like what you see with some of the assassins in Japan folklore use. She takes the mask off, and she's got new face paint. Yeah. It's Kana. Killer Kana is here, and everybody looks and they see Asuka and they're like, oh shit. Who want the smoke? And they try, and Asuka's just kicking ass. Number 18. No, that's not a typo. It's not Dewdrop. It is Piper the Viper Nevin. She has her name back, and she gets in here and she fucking dominates. So now we got Asuka, we got Damage Control, we got Piper Nevin, we got Rhea. Beautiful matches that I want to see. Number 19, Tamina, who looked great here. Y'all be sleeping on Tamina. I'm a Tamina fan. And then we have Chelsea Green, who is just eliminated very, very quickly by Rhea Ripley. 5 seconds. But sometimes when people are eliminated this quickly, it's the start of a storyline. And she was complaining. She was really upset and angry about getting eliminated this quickly. So I'm ready. I'm ready for all of that. After Chelsea, Becky tosses out Dakota. And then we got Zelina. And then all of Damage Control just gets taken out. Zelina's cosplaying as a new Street Fighter character. So there is your ad. She hits Xia Li with a cold red. And then we have Raquel Rodriguez, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but whatever. They're going to push her. After that, Mia Yim, then Lacey Evans. And Lacey does fine. Number 25, Michelle McCool, whatever. 26, our next NXT individual, Indy Hartwell. And she did all right. She dropped a few opponents. While Raquel and Rhea Ripley are fighting, and there's Sonya Deville's in. She does her thing, and she takes out Zoe Stark. It's kind of sucks. Shotzi at 28, 29, Nikki Cross, and then number 30. We have this countdown, but the music played before the countdown finished, and it's Nia Jax. She's back, looking great. I'm hoping she gets a better go round than what happened before, and she's get taken out, and then we're starting to whittle everything down. Nia gives the women a suck it after being eliminated, but we're starting to whittle things down, and then we get down to our final few women: Piper, Raquel, and then those who get taken out. So now we're down to our final four: Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross. Nikki's taken out. And our final three: Liv, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley. Woo! I'm sorry, the Eagles game was on too. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry. What a catch by Devontae Smith. Anyway, our final three: Liv, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley, and they're all battling on the apron. And Asuka goes to give Rhea the miss, blows it into Liv. So Liv's blind. Liv can't do anything. Rhea ends up taking out Asuka, and this is a match that I really want to see again after, Rhea eventually becomes champion, and we can get a new push on Killer Kana. And then as Liv's blind on the apron trying to fight Rhea gives her pretty much a kind of like a reverse hurricanrana outside of the ring while they're on the apron. And that's it. Rhea Ripley is the winner of the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble. It's great. Thoughts? Rhea's the Iron Woman. Great. She's been pretty much dominant for a minute since joining the Judgment Day. This is just great. The thing with the Women's Royal Rumble is not a lot of women are made to look good, look dominant. So there's not really many women you could think could win the match. I did the preview episode of who I think how odds to win. There was no Naomi, but Rhea. If you look at it, Rhea, Becky, Bayley, and Asuka. The only 4 women that you watching the match, you go, these are the only women I know that could win this match. That's it. No one else. Maybe Liv, because she's a former champion at this point, but no one else. So you have to do a much better job of building the women up and making everyone look competent, making everyone look good. Like, for example, Damage Control in the middle of that match, Damage Control was just dominated, even fighting off Becky Lynch. And I'm ready for more. The final sequence is very, very good. Rhea, Asuka, Liv. Overall, it was a really, really good booking strategy. I can't be upset with it. Even though I think, believe Asuka probably should have won. So, but it's fun. I'm happy with Rhea winning. I have no issue with Rhea winning. So, yeah. Next, finally, is our main event. Kevin Owens taking on Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. And this more so wasn't about the match. No. Kind of crazy to say that, right? It's more so what it really wasn't about the match. And even though it was a good match, we have Owens fight. We have this guy that won't quit. And the crazy thing is, accompanying Roman to the ring wasn't the Usos, wasn't Solo Sikoa. It was Sami and Paul Heyman. Sami had to prove himself, and they do their thing. Listen, I don't want to diminish the match because it was a very good match. I want to get to the ending of the match. So Roman slams KO's head against the steel steps. Most of the back of it just bounces off the steel steps. And Sami's like in disbelief at this point, and Roman ends it with a spear, right? Usos and Solo run down to the ring. Jay's got an extra delay, and they're preparing to crown Sami. Roman stopped it. He motions to the Usos to continue beating down Roman Reigns, and they beat his ass. They give him a 1D. They put him in a corner. Solo does the hip check with the chair. And Sami just looks bad. He looks uncomfortable. So they get handcuffs, and they handcuff KO to the ropes. And Jimmy G just super kicking Owens left and right, and Owens is just done. Roman approaches KO with the chair, says, Sami's family now. Reigns goes to finally murder, death kill Kevin Owens. Sami steps in, and Reigns begged him off. And Sami, you're the tribal chief. This is beneath you. He's done. It's done. He's repeating this over and over. Reigns looked frustrated. He looked away from Sami, held the chair, gave it to Sami, and says, "I care about you. I love you." You know, he's just gaslighting at its finest. Tell Sami to finish KO with the chair, and just a beautiful callback moment to when Seth turned on the Shield. Sami hits Roman with the chair. Crowd went crazy. Roman falls down. Sami turns to the Usos and he just says, "I'm sorry." Jay looks heartbroken. Jimmy super kicks Sami. Roman's in the corner now, and Jimmy just beating the holy hell out of Sami. Solo, Spike. And then Jimmy keeps beating him down. And while they're doing this, it's like, wait a minute, Jay's not doing anything. Reigns noticed this too, and he turned his head and told Jay. Jay is in tears. Jay's hurt. Reigns looks disgusted, and Jay leaves the ring. And Roman snaps and destroys Sami. He said, "You did this. You broke up my family." Crowds chanting, "F you, Roman." And the bloodline leaves with KO and Sami dead in the ring. And here's why they say when wrestling is great, it's great. The story. This has been going on for 2.5 years, y'all. This so you ask yourself, why does Jay leave? Why does Jay walk out? Because Sami did what Jay couldn't do. Remember, the only reason Jay fell in line with the bloodline is because Roman essentially brutalized Jimmy to get Jay to fall in line. The story has never been about Sami. This story has never been about Sami. This story has always been about Jay Uso. And Jay finally saw what Sami saw, that even though Sami and KO go through it, they are family. And Sami was done with the gaslighting, and he stood up for his brother. He stood up for his brother, and Jay saw it. Jay saw what it's like to truly be. Yeah, remember, the only reason Jimmy and Solo accepted Sami is because Roman accepted Sami. But the only reason Sami's there is because Jay finally accepted him. There's so much going on with this story. It's so good. Oh my god. They could literally drag this off for like another year and I'd be fine with that. Everything about this, the pain in Sami's eyes, the hurt in Jay's eyes, because he saw what true love is. He saw that you need to stand up for your brother. This started with Jay Uso. All of this started with Jay Uso. This was a great show. With the exception of the middle matches, the women's title match, and the pitch black match, the men's rumble, the women's rumble, and the main event were all great. This was phenomenal, people. I don't know what else to say. This Bloodline storyline is the best storyline in wrestling, and you can't convince me otherwise. But that's our show. Thank you as always for listening. Thank you as always for watching. Check the socials this week, probably by Wednesday. I'll have the February schedule up. Let me see how many shows we got for February. We'll have 4 shows in February, maybe some more lists. Try to get a new episode of the Filthy Casual up. But again, check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Xia Li, Wendy Chu, and Gigi Jolie. Holla at you.